Assalamualaikum. In this lecture, we will cover the remaining MCQs of O-level biology past paper number 12. So let's start. Which disease might be treated successfully with the antibiotic? Anemia and cholera, HIV and malaria. Anemia is a blood disease and there is no antibiotic can be made. Antibiotic is just made for that particular disease which is occurred by the bacteria. So among these diseases, the cholera is only the disease which is occurred by the bacteria, so it can be treated with antibiotic. Anemia is a blood disease, HIV is a viral disease, and the malaria is a parasitic disease. So only the cholera is the disease, bacterial disease, so it can only be treated with the antibiotic. When the babies are born, they have some passive immunity. Which conditions are needed for the passive immunity to develop? Antibodies produced by the mother have crossed the placenta. Yes, some antibodies are gained by the mother. The baby has developed in a very sterile environment. This is not a reason. Whenever the baby encounter with the environment, then it will have the immunity. Without encountering it can't have any immunity. The baby has not yet been vaccinated or exposed to disease. No. The mother diet is good enough for the baby to produce its own antibodies. No. Diet is not required for the antibodies. The interaction with a particular pathogen or antigen is required for the production of antibodies. So option A here is the right one. In which structure is there a fluid with a low concentration of urea? Low concentration of urea is present in which particular part? A, B, C or D? So let's check. It can be at that particular vein or blood vessel which is carrying the blood towards the kidneys, because the kidneys will process this blood and will produce the urea. So option A here is the right answer. A person blinks when an insect flies into their eye, which explains this reflex action. Muscles in the eyelid causes the eyes to blink, and impulses are sent down the motor neurons. No, they are not related. Muscles in the eyelid causes the eyes to blink. No, they do not directly causes the eye to blink. The receptor cells in the retina detect the insects. No. Firstly, the cornea is involved with this particular reflex action. Receptor cells in the cornea, which is present in front of the eye, detect the insect, and then the impulses will send towards the brain through sensory neurons, and then the relay neurons, and then the motor neurons, and then the muscles in the eyelids causes the eyes to blink. So option D here is the right one. The graph shows the changes in the diameter of a person's pupils when outdoors on a sunny day. At which time did the person take off their sunglasses? Whenever the sunny day has the sun at its peak, then it is required to put on the glasses. But whenever the time when the sunlight is reduced and the day is going towards the sunset, so at that particular point the person can take off his glasses. So we can say that option number C is showing that particular point. The graph shows the blood glucose concentration of a person in the hours after eating the breakfast at 7 a.m. right? Which level of glucose concentration is approximately the set point? 80 milligram per centimeter cube, and the graph is between the 60 to 80 milligram per centimeter cube. So we can check here. So we have to find out whether it is the 80, 100 or 120. What is the accurate one? So at 7 a.m. the person have breakfast, and then the concentration of glucose will up and down time and again, right? So 80 milligram per centimeter cube will be that particular set point We can say that the 80 milligram per centimeter cube is the glucose concentration just after the breakfast. So 80 milligram per centimeter cube is the accurate answer. Which hormones causes the blood glucose concentration to be lowered? As we all know that insulin hormone is related to control the blood glucose level, so option C is the right answer. Which statements about the oxygen is correct? Oxygen is basically a plant hormone, right? Plant hormone, and it is involved in the plant processes. Oxygen is actually equally distributed in the plant in response to the gravity and light. No, it is not equally distributed. It is not related to that particular gravity and light. Oxygen inhibits the cell elongation. No, it increases the cell elongation. It is a growth hormone. That's why it increases. Oxygen is made in the plant stem. It is made throughout the plant body, not only in the stem. Oxygen spreads through the plant from the shoot tip. Yes, shoot tip oxygens are basically produced at the shoot tip, and from there they are distributed throughout the plant. So option D here is the right answer. The diagram shows some stages in the cell division in a fruit fly. Here some stages are that of the mitosis and then the meiosis, right? And cell X contains 8 chromosomes. Cell X contains 8 chromosomes. They are distributed 4 and 4 here, right? And when it will be, the cell will be distributed, and the DNA will be replicated, and both the daughter cells will also have the 8 and 8 chromosomes. Then at the meiosis, cell X contains 8 chromosomes. How many chromosomes are in the cell Y and in the cell Z? Cell Y will have the 8 chromosomes because it is produced after the mitosis. And in the case of cell Z, let's calculate how many whenever the cell Y will be distributed into contributed into the 2 cells, then the 2 cells will have the 8 chromosomes each. Whenever it will itself divided into the 2, then each one have 4 chromosomes. So we can say that the cell Z have 4 chromosomes and the cell Y have 8. So option C here is the right answer, because meiosis causes to decrease in the number of chromosomes at the daughter cells, right? Which statement applies to the organisms that reproduces asexually? Offsprings always grow to the same height. They do not always grow. This is wrong. Offsprings are genetically identical, yes. Whenever they are reproduced by asexual means, they are always genetically identical. Organisms only reproduce asexually during the extreme conditions. It is not required. It is the asexual reproduction is the need of the plant. It is not related to the environmental conditions. Reproduction happens by the fusion of the diploid nuclei. It does not require the fusion, it requires the division, right? So option B here is the right answer.